Thanks for coming to j&ntravels podcast with your hosts, John and Nancy.
Hi.
We will discuss everything travel, including cruising, Disney World, other general travel, snowbirding tips, trivia, and other fun things.
I would like to make a special announcement. Most of the comments that we have received are that the majority of listeners prefer an audio podcast opposed to one with a lot of video. The main reasons given are that they like to listen while doing house chores, driving, or walking, which makes a lot of sense. We will slowly be moving over to mainly an audio version. Please put any comments below or email us at j&ntravels@yahoo.com. Thanks for joining us. Each podcast contains 2 segments with travel information. We also have Nancy's Trivia, travel fun facts, and snowbird tips. We have been getting some questions emailed to us and we'll answer one question on each podcast. If interested in sending us a question or making up a comment, email us at j&ntravels@yahoo.com. Please check out our J&N Travels Facebook page, J&N Travels merchandise store, our J&N Travels YouTube channel, and visit our podcasts on YouTube, Spotify, Google, Amazon, and Apple. Our information for everything is listed below. We like to start off each podcast with Nancy's Trivia. Nancy, that's me, will give you the trivia questions now, and she will give you the answers towards the end of our podcast.
Nancy, we like to begin each show with 3 trivia questions that you found, and read the questions, and then at the end of the show you'll give the answers. So I guess today you found 3 that had to do with music?
Yeah, today's category is music.
Okay, so what are your 3 trivia questions?
So what singer has had a Billboard #1 hit in each of the last 4 decades?
So question 1 is, what singer has had a Billboard #1 hit in each of the last 4 decades? Okay, number 2.
Who was the very first American Idol winner?
Who was the very first American Idol winner? Okay, and number 3.
Who was the first woman ever inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
Third question is, who was the first woman ever inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Good questions, Nance. So we'll look for those answers at the end of our video. I started this out a few months ago, and we were looking at cruises. I had it narrowed down to 3 different cruise lines, and we picked the one I liked the least, which was MSC. And the reason we did that is we've been wanting to try MSC. And
we've been wanting to try it.
It's so wishy-washy, the reviews on the MSC cruise line.
Well, they all say it's a beautiful ship,
right.
So that's a given. So we know the ship is beautiful.
But we want to experience it ourselves and get our own opinion, our own review. So
and we couldn't pass up on this deal. This is a really
good deal. We'll get to that a little later in this. But so we chose to do the MSC, and we booked the cruise online. We had a travel agent that kind of disappeared all of a sudden. So this is really weird.
It is. He vanished.
So at the last minute, we booked online and got this deal, which you can get this deal. Any of you travel agents probably know the same deal. One thing I want to point out is people complain of how high the cruise prices are out there now for cruises, and they've gone up considerably. Mm-hmm. But if you do your research and you're willing to be a little flexible, you really can get them low. We had a great deal last year on the Carnival Venezia. Did I say it right?
Yeah, the Venezia.
And that was a great deal.
That
great
was a beautiful ship. The food was good. Everything was great on it.
So we lucked out there. And this one, I'll get into the prices a little later in this, but this was a fantastic deal in its own right. So what we did is we booked the cruise, and a friend of ours, the same couple that went with us on the Carnival last year, jumped on board with us.
Yeah, we had a great time with them. So we're looking forward to cruising with them again. It was our first time cruising with them, and it was great. So it'll be great again.
We booked it as, this is the weird thing. Now, if you look online, this cruise is listed as 2 different things. You can do a 7-day cruise to Bermuda. You can do a 7-day cruise down to the, I guess you call it kind of the pseudo Caribbean, Nassau, the private island, and Port Canaveral.
To the private island.
And you can book it as 2 separate 7-day cruises. Yeah. Or you can book it like we did as a 14-day cruise. And it's a little deceiving because they call it a 14-day cruise. And my impression when you do a 14-day cruise is you get on the ship and you don't return to port till the 14 days are over.
Right. That's how
But to sell it as 2 separate 7-day cruises, we had to book this as a 14-day cruise. And why we did that was because instead of doing the 2 separate, you don't get any price savings. If people think, oh, you save money by doing the 14, you don't. but that way we're guaranteed to be in the same room.
Yeah,
Because
that's
we
convenient.
right. I think there was one cruise once that we had to book the two. We did it back to back, and we had to have everything moved.
Yeah.
So this makes it convenient to be in the same room. That's why we did it as a back to
Yeah.
back.
So we don't have to move, and that's a good thing.
Right. So technically, it is a back to back.
Yeah, it
Not
is.
a 14 days. So the itinerary for this is the first week is you leave New York, you go to Port Canaveral in Florida, and we'll go over the excursions we're potentially going to do. You go to Bahamas, and then you go back, and then you go to their private island, which I'm looking forward to that.
I'm looking forward to that, yes.
And then you go back to New York. You do your whole maneuver where we've done this twice now in the past, so I assume it's the same way. You get off the ship, you got to go through the turnstiles again.
Yeah, we did that. Yeah, I remember that. It was a long process.
Well, it depends.
Only because they had the didn't they have the
well, there was an issue on one of them, but yeah, they had the Coast Guard came on and searched.
That's what I'm trying to say.
So you can run into bugs with this. If it runs smoothly, you basically get off the cruise line. They do facial recognition and line you all up. You do it as a group. I should say you get up that morning. I forget what time it was, like 9 o'clock. You have to meet in a certain central location. This happened to be a restaurant. You all shuffle off the ship together. You go through facial recognition. You come back on as a group, and you come back on the cruise ship.
That's right.
And the great thing is, of course, you're there probably a couple hours before the rest of the people are loaded on.
That's
so
nice. You're like, woohoo, we're on the ship first.
If you're great filming on your own, or if there's certain things you want to do on your own.
Yeah, that part was fun. Yeah.
The negative part, like Nancy said, we ran into one that had a Coast Guard search. So since we're off the ship, they kept us off the ship. They finished that. So
and that was terrible for the older people who had to stand up. I mean, they were literally trying to find chairs for some.
Well, me and another guy would go over to the wall, pulling chairs overboard because they would look like they would pass out.
Stand up if you're, older. I mean,
right. So that's the process switching the ships. Now the pre-booking. Okay, we'll go through this too. Now this is going to be most helpful for anyone that does these kind of packages where you drive to port. We want to do a port that was within driving distance this time. Since we're going all the way down to Florida in about 4 months, we want to do something we didn't have to get on an airplane to make it a little easier. So there's a package deal, which now is probably the 4th or 5th time we've done.
Yeah.
That you can do with the New Jersey ports out of Bayonne, which is usually Royal Caribbean. And you can do it out of I think there are 3, right? Brooklyn, Manhattan, and I thought there was a 3rd one, port on the New York side of the river. And for all of these, and those are the ones on the other side of the river. Royal's the only one over in New Jersey. The other 3, Carnival, MSC, NCL, we're all on the New York side.
Yeah.
So what we do, but the packages are all on the New Jersey side.
Yeah,
so either way, you're going to get these packages.
Yeah, they're decent packages.
Right.
I love it because, we're guaranteed a ride to the cruise port, so you're not going to.
So less than a year ago, we booked this package for only $400. It was less than $400. Well, things have shot through the roof. In fact, they changed actually the week after we went, because the couple we went on with, 2 days after we had booked, it had gone up.
Yeah, it did.
You're not going to get it for $400 anymore. And what it usually includes is one night at the hotel. So you drive down, you spend the night at the hotel. We like to get there a little early, maybe take a dip in the hotel pool, but at the very least, relax.
Just relax.
At the hotel. And this year, we're going to do it, like I said, in New Jersey. 14 days parking is included.
Yes.
Now, that will fluctuate. If you're only going on the 1 week cruise, it will probably be a little cheaper, and you can do 7 days parking. Right. But it's a package deal. You get breakfast the next day. So when you get up, you have breakfast before you get on a cruise ship. So you're not standing in line waiting to go on the cruise ship and starving. That's included. And the biggest thing is you get the round trip shuttle. So
that's huge.
Yeah. So you check in, you relax. And this one that we're going to this year includes a welcome evening, what is it called? Reception.
Oh, yeah. That's very nice.
So you have a few drinks, you go to your room, you sleep, you wake up, you have breakfast, the cruise, the shuttle comes, picks you up, brings you to the cruise ship. When the voyage is over, you call them and tell them you're getting off the ship, and they have a car that they tell you in advance where to meet them, right?
Yeah, they always tell you in advance. Yeah.
And where to meet them.
Yeah. We never had an issue with that. One time we had to wait a little longer, but that was only once.
Yeah. And it's a little scary on the New York side because all those roads and the traffic, and you just hope you meet up. And so far, we haven't been burnt. But...
No, we had to just wait a little longer once, but the others were very much on time.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the cost of the package. Now, these packages you can do a search online for cruise packages
Mhm.
in New York, and you can find several companies. We deal with a company called Trinity,
Mhm.
who includes several hotels and several packages,
Mhm.
so you can stop there
Yeah.
if you need to. Anyone that has questions, anything we're talking about, you can email us at j&ntravels
j&ntravels
at yahoo.com, and we'll answer any questions you want. We'd like to have actually a follow-up discussion on this just before we go on the cruise, once we finalize this, because this is all static plans right now. They're not 100% locked in, correct?
Mhm.
So the second thing then, well, we leave our house, drive 5 or 6 hours. It should be just over 4 hours, but for some reason it always takes me 5 or 6 hours to get to New
That's
Jersey
okay.
from
We
New
get there
Hampshire.
safe. That's important.
And our process is we bring food down. They always seem to have a microwave and a mini fridge.
Yeah.
So we bring either cold cuts or something we can nuke.
Yeah.
And that's what we have for our dinner in the hotel.
Yeah.
So we're
that's
not,
funny.
so because the last thing we want to do is once we park that car, we want to leave that car.
All right.
We want to get back on those highways.
All right.
So we eat in the room, and we like to take a swim. These are our plans for this year. Go to bed. Next morning, we'll go to the reception too. I didn't mention that.
Oh, right.
Definitely go to the reception.
Yeah.
Hopefully meet some people that are going on the same package that are going to go on the cruise. We'll swim, have breakfast, and head to the pool between 10 and 11. I'm not sure how I think MSC loads a little earlier.
Mhm.
I know you have to be off the ship, I think, at 7 a.m.
Mhm.
So I think they board a little bit earlier.
Mhm.
But they do it weird, MSC, or different, I should say, because we used to be able, as soon as we booked, to load all our information online, your credit
Oh, yeah,
card,
that's
your
right.
passport, all this information, and get your departure time, like when you can go on the ship and stuff like that. They don't do that till 30 days out. So we
Yeah.
haven't even been able to load
Yeah.
that information online yet.
Yeah.
So it
They
looks
do it
like you'll all
different.
be bumping heads at the same time trying to find, in the dinner too, what dinner you
Oh,
have,
yeah,
that type of
right.
thing.
Right.
We booked an inside cabin.
Yep.
People have been getting upgrades from inside cabin. If we do, great. If we don't,
Yeah.
we've
I don't care.
never had bad luck on any of the
You're
cabins we've
hardly in
gotten.
your cabin anyways.
Well, the last two we've gone is a guaranteed
Yeah.
cabins, which were even cheaper, and they were two of the best cabins we've had.
I love the cabins on the Venezia. I
Yeah.
thought they were really nice.
The location too,
Yeah.
it was on the bottom, so we thought we
Yeah.
would hate it. But the thing is,
I
in the
loved it.
bottom, no one's waiting for the elevators because they haven't gotten on
No,
yet. So you get
right.
right on the
Yeah, I
elevators.
really liked it. And I thought the cabin was a little bit bigger. I don't know, but it was nice.
It was nice. Okay, so this shouldn't surprise anyone. This is the price of the package that we booked. Okay, our package. Now keep in mind all this that's being included. Okay, there's the cruise itself. There's the cabin, the taxes, the fees, the port charges, the travel insurance. Okay,
Yeah, we always get travel insurance. You got to do that.
internet and unlimited drink package for 2.
Ooh.
Now this is something that they were offering with the
Yeah.
booking.
Yeah.
That's why we took this picture
Yeah,
booking.
we don't usually get the drink package.
And the whole cost is under $2,900. Okay,
Whoa.
so that's an excellent deal for anyone who's been taking cruises. $2,900 for, like I said, real quickly, the cruise, the cabin, the taxes, the fees, the port charges, the travel insurance, the internet, and unlimited drink package for 2 under $2,900.
That's a deal.
Yep. And last year we got a great deal too. It wasn't
Yeah,
as
we
good as this
did.
one,
We
but it was a
got
great
a
deal.
good deal on the Venezia as well.
Now, we'll plan. The first thing is once we get on to the ship, we hope to go to the early seating. We tend to lean towards the early seating every time, whatever that first seating is, because we've gotten into a habit where we eat. Then when we're done eating, we try and go to the first show
Yeah.
so that we have the rest of the evening to ourselves.
Yeah.
And then we always get nosy and a little hungry and try to catch the buffet at the very end.
Yeah, try to
just
poke
to see
around,
what was
see
on
what's
it.
there. I mean, that's the fun of cruising,
Well,
See
and we always luck out. It's like last year when we jumped on the in
Venezia.
line for the for the buffet
Oh,
at the end of the night.
Oh, yeah.
We had shrimp schooners, which you didn't even know about.
Those are good. I'm a big shrimp person.
Baby back ribs another time.
He
So
loves his ribs.
yeah, so
But I like, Oh, making me hungry now.
So that's the main dining. The biggest thing about MSC, really, the only negative, positive type of thing is the food. We've heard for years how the quality's not as good and the variety's not as good. Now, lately, I've been watching a lot of videos, and a lot of the that stuff now is it seems to be changing a little.
Yeah.
You know, you're getting people who say they had
Oh,
wonderful
excuse me.
dinners, you had wonderful
Oh boy.
variety. They had good variety, different things like that. They have a few novelties too with their food on this ship. If people don't know, I think they have a place where they make their own mozzarella cheese.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And the
Yeah.
pizza, they say, is really good.
It's supposed to be very good. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
Allergy season.
So let's get into the different areas. Okay. If you don't want to go, or you don't have the time to go on a 2-week or 14-day cruise, then you can take one or the other cruises. Okay, so we'll break it down. We're doing both, but you could just book one of these. All right. The first week we go to Port Canaveral is the first stop. We've looked at several things here. We did Port Canaveral twice in the past, and remember the first time we get off, we went left and we walked down to Jetty Park Beach.
Jetty Beach, yeah.
Jetty Beach was
Yeah.
nice walk.
It was a
really
nice
an
walk.
interesting walk.
Yeah.
And the beach was nice. It's
Yeah, the
just it
beach
was a
was
little
nice.
cooler. We didn't feel like really swimming. There was
Yeah.
no one in the water.
No, it was cool.
And then
I like walking. It was a nice walk.
Then we went back the second time. We just got off the ship and went right, and that's where we found some different bars along the water and stuff along that. Since we'll have the drink package this time, we don't really care about that. But the thing that this was a long shot 2 weeks ago, and we've talked about it more. We still have an active Disney annual pass that expires at the end of December, and we were thinking, boy, that for $44 you can take a shuttle. It's actually a sponsored by the cruise ship.
per person.
$44 per person, round trip though, from the ship that takes you to Disney World or Disney Springs or Universal, just the transportation. Now, if you have to buy a ticket, it's not worth it. But you're probably only going to get 3 hours of the park.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
But we thought, geez, for $44, we've never been at Halloween.
No, I know.
It'd be great to walk around the park and see it during Halloween or something. So we're thinking about that. We're definitely thinking about that. We would probably take it to. It goes to the ticket booth there. People have taken it. Most cruise lines, I guess, offer this excursion. And then I think we would probably lean towards jumping on the monorail and go over the Epcot for 3 hours. But we'd have the option of Epcot or Magic Kingdom.
Yeah, either
depending
way.
on which one we want to do.
Yeah.
If you tune in a month, you'll probably find out what we decide on that because we would definitely have that booked before we went on it, so it doesn't sell out. Our second stop would be the Bahamas. There's a little bit of a tourist warning there. We tend to walk off on our own, which might not be the most safe thing in the world. Last time we walked down was it Junco Beach? Junco Beach. It was nice little walk through the town.
We explored Margaritaville Hotel.
Yeah, in the water parks and did some stores along the way. And it was a nice little walk. And then the beach was nice. We didn't go swim, but just went to check it out.
But we wanted to check it out.
And walk back. Felt perfectly safe. Now they're saying it's to be a little careful going off on your own. If you go on a ship excursion, it's a different story. Well, we're not going to waste a ship excursion on the Bahamas here. Supposedly in the Bahamas, I think it's Nassau, there's a brand new port. They've redone the port.
Oh, okay.
We haven't seen it.
No, we haven't.
So we're thinking of just going off for a couple hours and exploring what's around the port area. If anyone knows what's around the port area, let us know.
Yeah.
And once we're done exploring the port area, just go back to the ship, have a drink, overlook the with that kind of nice vantage point, just have a nice view, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's one thing that we don't usually do. We're hoping to go from bar to bar and just say we've done all the bars with some.
It'll be fun trying different drinks. You know, we only had the drink package once, and that was in 2016. And that was fun. I know I got hooked on the Miami Vice drink because I never had that before.
Which is as awesome.
And that was delicious.
So
it'll be fun to try. And mojitos. The Miami Vice and mojitos were very, very good.
So our last stop for week 1 is Ocean Cay, and that is a private island.
Oh, yes.
And I've heard many people say they like this private island the best of all the cruise lines.
Oh, really? Okay.
It's the one big thing is you have, I think it's 9 o'clock you get there, and they don't leave till 10 o'clock at night.
Oh,
so
wow.
You have the longest time.
Ample time.
Right. There's a lighthouse. So they have beautiful beaches, supposedly. You get off the ship, there's a lighthouse on there. They give a light show at night, laser show. Yes, you can either see from the ship, or you can go down to the beach and actually watch it, which I hope you actually watch it from the beach. Would be nice.
But you have to pay to tour the lighthouse. Is that right?
Tourist, right? You can see it. You can go down there, but just to go up inside it, right? I think it's a ship excursion.
Oh, I see. Okay.
The other thing that's great about Ocean Cay is they accept, some cruise lines don't do this, which I don't really understand, but they accept the drink package.
That's a bonus.
Right. Food's included on the island. And so basically, you go on the island. And when you're done swimming, you can just sit at the bars, and it's all included. It's not costing you an arm and a leg. You
Just
can have
drink
you can
away.
have food. You're there all day.
No, that's life's a beach.
Well, and
With
we plan on
a
spending.
beach and drink package.
That's right.
Can't get any better, right?
No, you're right about that. And so you could spend the day. And the reason we're so excited about the drink package, we would never get our money's worth on the drink package
No,
normally.
we're not big
But
drinkers.
when it was offered as part of this package, it's like, oh, this would be a great experience. You got
Yeah.
nothing to lose.
Right.
Try different drinks, this and that. So we will go on the island. We'll spend the day on the island, and we'll watch the laser show from somewhere.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We'll definitely catch that.
And I don't know if we probably will go to the island for the day, go back, maybe shower and have dinner on the ship, and then go back on the island to see the nighttime show.
Oh,
or
I
something.
don't want to miss that. Yeah, I plan on doing
Be
that.
something like that. So that's week 1. Then they return to New York, the port of New York, and we get off the ship like we said. We get back on the ship. They finally leave the port of New York for the second week, and we head towards Bermuda. Now this is
I'm excited to go to Bermuda. I've been there 3 times, but I absolutely love it. So.
well, and this is done. This you talk about night and day. Okay, the other one was 3 ports for a shorter time. This you pull in to the Bermuda, and you're there for 2 full days, 2 half days.
That's awesome. That's so awesome.
Right. So I think they pull in actually early in the day on the first day.
Yeah, Bermuda's lovely.
And they leave about 3 o'clock on the last day, and then you have the 2 full days in the middle. So this is basically up in the air right now, but this is what we're leaning towards. For the 2 full days, Nancy's been wanting to go to the other side of the island.
We've been there 3 times, and we've never been on the other side of the island. We've done many different things in Bermuda and always had a blast, but didn't make it to the other side of the island. So I'd like to do that.
And there are 2 ways to get the other side to St. George's. One, you can pay and take a ferry over there. The other way is you can work your way over by the buses. Now, you can do the buses in a couple of ways. If you want to do it, is just buying your ticket and going over, or you could try and book a package. I guess there's 3 ways if you count. You could do a private excursion and have someone take you there too. So there's really 3 ways to do it.
Yeah.
We don't know which way we're going to do it. That's Nancy's choice. She's going to research
I haven't done that
George's Island. See, the biggest thing that scares me with that, the ferry, which is the easiest thing to do, is that I heard you have to wait in a long line for tickets. And then you have to wait in a long line to get on the boat. And I've heard people that have done that, and then the boat's full. Now they got to wait another hour and a half to 2 hours for the next ferry to come in.
That's not good.
Right. So we got to do more research and find out what's the best way to do that. So we're hoping to do St. George one day. The second full day, again, one of Nancy's top choices is Horseshoe Beach.
I've only been there once, and I'd love to return.
No, Horseshoe Beach has a shuttle, from what I understand. It costs you $7 each way.
That's
so
reasonable.
$14 for us round trip.
Very reasonable.
Each one of us round trip. So basically, they pick you up right at the ship. I think it's just vans, and they pick you up. They bring you right down the beach. So that's
one of the most beautiful beaches in the world.
You can also take a bus, which is what we did last time we were there, and we went down the beach. I would definitely go for the shuttles if they offer those. If they're not long lines for those too. We have to look into it too. We'll research it. If anyone's done any of these, please let us know. And what we'll do is we like to explore the island. I guess that's a third option, just to take a shuttle, like a bus trip that goes all the way out to St. George, but it doesn't spend much time there.
No, I know, but we've never done that.
And then back, right.
Yeah,
and it would be
I'd be curious to see what the other side is.
And that would be another alternative, just explore it for maybe the future.
Right.
And the last option, which I don't think we're going to do, but it's always out there because we like to snorkel. We've done the snorkel excursion. It was very nice in Bermuda.
Yeah, very nice.
Is to do some kind of a catamaran snorkel excursion, something like that. So it'll be 2 out of those 4 things for the 2 full days.
Yeah.
The 2 half days, okay? The Snorkel Beach is I think it's a man-made beach that's right there, walking distance from the ship.
Yeah, they used to be free. Then it went to 5, and now it's 15, right?
Right. It's not the greatest beach.
No,
it was free the first time we went. It was $5 the second time we went. It's now $15 a person. I've heard that it can be rough on the beach. I've heard different things. Sometimes broken glass, sometimes it's jagged rocks.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what, but it is close to the ship, and it had half decent snorkeling. So
I think the snorkeling's pretty good. We've done it twice, and I've been very impressed by what the colorful fish that I saw.
They have the wall of fort on your right side, and then they have the jetty on your left. So if you stick near the jetty, you see a decent amount of fish.
Yeah, you do. And there's really cool brain coral. I love seeing the brain coral, but you got to be careful if you bump into it like I did. It does leave a little stinging feeling.
Right. So Snorkel Beach is something that we would definitely entertain.
Yeah, I mean, I really, really enjoy.
Well, I mean, it's right
snorkeling.
there.
It's right there.
If we don't go on a snorkeling excursion, then that would be the thing that'd be
Yeah.
interesting to do because we
Yeah.
want to get some snorkeling in.
Yeah.
We're still debating if we want to order those new full masks that go over.
Yeah.
Friends of ours recommend it, but we want to make sure we're going to actually do some snoring still.
Snorkeling. You said snoring.
Do they really? Okay, snorkeling. Well, you're probably snoring them too. Yeah, they're very comfortable. And the other half day, probably the last day, which is a given, will be just walking around. There's a lot to do at the port in Bermuda.
So pretty there.
Well, there are shops,
gorgeous.
there are restaurants. There's
Yeah.
you do any excursion from that.
Right.
We had done the
last time we did. We played mini golf. That was so much fun. That was back in 2016.
Yeah. And I mean,
really
we've
fun.
done mini golf, and we've done the jet skis the kids did, and they rented a kayak there.
Yeah,
We've
they
done
did.
the catamaran tour, the
We've done the
snorkeling tour.
catamaran, and then we did a Boston whaler tour that we did on our own.
We went with the whole family one year, and they have a hand blown glass, remember?
That was lovely.
And we had a nice piece made for her from all of us kids. So yeah,
from your
there's a
mom.
lot of stuff there to do on the.
There is. There's a rum factory, but we didn't go to that. But this is a lot to do.
No, we did go in that. That was a rum cake. Yeah, you're thinking of the rum factory over in the Bahamas.
Gotcha.
We definitely went to the rum cake.
Okay.
We just neither of us is really big.
I
rum
don't care
people.
for rum, but boy, you wouldn't know it by how much rum punch I drank on that catamaran excursion.
So true.
Oh God.
So those are the port days. Now the sea days that we're lining up is we've heard there are ship games like every other cruise.
Yeah.
In fact, some people are saying it's nonstop stuff to do, so that's always great.
That's excellent.
We like to do trivia and stuff like that.
I love trivia. That's really fun.
For the first time, we played pickleball with our friends over on the Carnival cruise, the Venezia, and they have pickleball in this one, so that will be a definite. This is indoors too.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
Slides and rope course are two of the big things I'm into. You like the slides, not so much the rope course.
Yeah, if the slides aren't too high, I'm on board. I'm a little fearful of heights, but if they're not too high, I will go down them.
The pools on the pictures, at least in the videos I've seen, it looks like good sized pools.
Yeah,
so I'm hoping
they do look good size.
And then one thing we just started, it's funny, we started with our friends last year on the cruise, and then we continue it when we did our snowbirding down, is playing cards. We hadn't played cards
we're not card
years.
players, but boy, was that fun. We got taught how to play a certain game, and I forget how to play, so hopefully they'll teach us again.
Maybe we can convince our friends to play cards in a different bar every night and try out the different drinks.
Yeah, because they had the drink package as well, so that'll be fun.
So that is our plans on the ship. Okay.
Yeah.
The food. Okay. This is the untangible. We got to the point and I almost didn't book this because of the food. And I finally said to Nancy, it's a good deal. The ships are beautiful. Everything else is supposed to be good. If I don't like the food, I'll sit and eat pizza for 14 days.
I could eat pizza every day. And they say the pasta's good, so I'm on board. And they do have salmon, so I would love the salmon, so good.
Well, like our traditional food, and this is what we'll probably do with this, and we have unless we have if they really get us and we have a late dinner, which I'm hoping we still have the early one. We'll have dinners in the main dining room. We'll follow it by a visit to the buffet before it closes, and then we'll end the evening with a pizza nightcap. So that's our tentative plan right now. And like
I hope the lines aren't really long. Remember how long they were
for the pizza?
Yeah, that was on the horizon though. That wasn't the Venezia. That was on the horizon. They were really long.
Like you said, the foods, the ones that we've heard good things about is the pizza, the pasta. I've heard the beef is the cheese is and the coffee, which is unusual because we usually have bad luck with the coffee on there.
Coffee on cruise ships I don't care for, but
of course the irony is this one supposed to have good coffee, and with the package now we'll probably just try the ones at the other places that are
like
package.
So Bailey's Irish cream,
all these
drinks.
weird ones.
Yeah, why not?
They also have their version of a sea day brunch, so we'll do that as much as possible. My ultimate when we were doing Carnival was a steak, bacon, and eggs to have anytime they had the sea day brunch, so that was a lot of fun.
One of my favorite breakfasts was that 12-hour French toast.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that was it's so rich, but it was good. Very good.
Okay, Nance, moving on to entertainment. The show seemed to be along the They're not the Broadway shows like we like on NCL
I like the
but
Broadway
they are
shows.
like the shows I think they sound like on Carnival from the tip of their team, which
Sounds
is
fun.
fine.
Yeah,
Singing and
fine.
dancing, good music.
I love singing and dancing.
They seem to be very talented, so
Yeah.
that'd be a lot of fun. And we like to catch a live show every night if we
Yeah.
can. That's our big thing.
Yeah, we want.
And then the live music around the ship,
Yes.
the different venues like they do have on other cruise ships. And one of my big thrills is when we go in the fall, which I know isn't a huge thing with you, is the watching the NFL football game on the big screen. I just think it's a lot of fun.
I only like the Olympic gymnastics. That's the only thing I can watch sports-wise. I don't watch sports.
No, but it's on a ship, watching the big screen, drinking in your hand. It's really a nice experience.
Oh, and ice skating. I like watching Olympic ice skating.
So that kind of covers, Nance, all our plans right now.
Yeah.
I'd like to update this in a month when we actually book some of this stuff.
Yeah.
If anyone popped in late and you want to kind of know what our plan is, or you want to follow our guidelines or just have some advice, look back at this from the beginning, the replay. If you have any questions, just contact us at j&ntravels@yahoo.com. We like to thank everyone that did come in. So if you look at trying a new cruise line, give it a try and getting the bargain in the process. Look in the Meraviglia. We're taking it out of New York. I know they have a ship, the Seashore, going out of Florida, Port Canaveral.
Okay.
So that's it for now. Thank you very much for joining us. I always enjoy this part of the video, Nance, when you've done some research and you had some fun facts about something out there in the traveling world. What are your fun facts today?
Well, these are Epcot fun facts.
Epcot fun facts.
Yeah.
That should be fun.
Yeah. The ride technology for the Soarin' attraction was based on an Erector set model created by Walt Disney Imagineer Mark Summer. 1 million pounds of steel provides the ride structure, and 37 tons are lifted during each ride cycle.
That's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah, it's nearly a mile long and reaching a top speed of 65 miles per hour. Test Track is the longest and fastest ride at Walt Disney World theme park.
Interesting. Number 3.
The body of water at the Seas with Nemo and Friends provides a home to 3,000 fish and other sea creatures and contains 5.7 million gallons of water, one of the largest man-made ocean environments in the world.
I'm not sure how true it is, but I thought I read that is the second biggest aquarium. I don't know if it's in the U.S. or the world.
More than 30 tons of fruits and vegetables grow at the Land Pavilion each year and are served in Walt Disney World restaurants.
We knew about that.
Yeah.
That's amazing, huh?
The land has a tomato tree that is the only one of its kind in the United States. The massive plant has produced a world record harvest of more than 32,000 tomatoes from a single vine.
That's incredible.
World Showcase Promenade stretches 1.2 miles, and World Showcase Lagoon spans 40 acres.
You know, we always wonder when we're walking around the lagoon how much we're actually walking. So every time around, you're going 1.2 miles.
Yeah.
So you must have an incredible amount of steps.
A United Kingdom Rose and Crown pub and dining room in World Showcase, a specialty designed ale warmer, can heat your Guinness to 55 degrees, the temperature favored by Brits.
I'd rather a cold beer myself.
Yeah. 26.2 miles of bratwurst are served every 60 days in the Beer Garden restaurant in the Germany Pavilion. This is the length of a marathon.
Wow.
From bonsai to roses, there's something for every gardening guru at the annual Epcot International Flower and Garden Festival. Disney horticulturists rotate the crops twice during the festivals to keep the 30 million blossoms colorful and fresh.
You know, we saw that, and it was amazing. We wondered how they could keep up with all those flowers.
I agree. It was beautiful.
Yeah. And the last fact?
Each year at the annual Epcot International Food and Wine Festival, more than 33,000 bottles of wine and champagne are uncooked. 1.2 million hors d'oeuvres plates are served, and 100,000 miniature desserts are dished up.
Incredible amount of food.
Incredible.
Thank you for those facts, Nance.
You're welcome. Follow John and Nancy from j&ntravels as they snowbird in Florida for the winter months.
Snowbird tip. When booking any lodging, we always try to book a condo with a full kitchen, including a full-size refrigerator. You can save hundreds of dollars in meals by cooking meals in the condo. With a full-size fridge, you can save money and time by buying and storing a surplus amount of food. For the segment today on our podcast, Nance, we decided to go back to Disney since Disney's very fresh in our heads, and we can probably give a much more educated discussion on anything Disney right now because we spent 4 months in there. We decided to attack. People have asked us this. We've asked each other this. What our favorite parks are in order. So why don't we start with you? We'll go through the 4 parks with you first, and then we'll go through the 4 parks with me. So, what's your favorite park out of the Disney World parks?
All right. In order of number one, my best favorite park is Magic Kingdom.
You've always liked Magic Kingdom. It's always been your
Yes.
favorite.
I love the Cinderella Castle. I can't get enough of that. I also love just the whole atmosphere of the park. It's very magical.
Well, it's very whimsical.
Whimsical, magical, yeah.
Characters are there.
I love the new Snow White ride. I could ride that all day. And Thunder Mountain is a fun ride as well. And can't beat Winnie the Pooh, which Winnie the Pooh is my favorite character. So.
Plus, we always take a break on the People Mover. That seems to be a nice way to
Yeah,
relax
that
and
is.
recharge.
And there are, of course, the character parades. They're amazing.
Yeah, they're always great with the music and the different
Yeah.
characters. What about the train this year? We didn't drive the train like 25 years.
Yeah, I like the train a lot. I enjoy that. It's very relaxing, and you could see in back of some of the rides when you ride the train, because it goes behind Splash Mountain.
It's been about 25 years, but yeah, we went through different lands. I
Yeah.
didn't even remember that they had. It's kind of sad because one of the things we decided not to go on this time was the Tom Sawyer Island.
Yeah.
And now we heard rumors that's closing down.
Yeah, I wanted to go on that, but we just ran out of time. So, the Magic Kingdom is my favorite for sure. My second one is Epcot. Now, Epcot, it was amazing this year just to see the Flower and Garden Festival. That was crazy fun. But I really, really enjoy the Frozen ride.
That's
I
right.
could ride that all day.
And we did ride that quite a bit.
We did. But it was amazing to see the Flower and Garden Show and all the beautiful topiaries. That was really, really good.
What were your favorite rides at the front of the park?
At the front of the park, my favorite rides, well,
I mean, you were a little intimidated with Soarin', but you seem to like that
I
after you
like
did so many
soaring. I
times.
mean, I always get a little worried because I am scared of heights, but I do like it. I love flying over California and flying over the world.
Right.
Who wouldn't, right?
You got to see both this past.
Yeah, I did. Of course, Nemo, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's a nice ride. Test Track is fun.
I think we only did Test Track once this time.
Yeah, that's fun. And like I said, Frozen is a blast, and the Mexican ride.
Well, Frozen's at the back of the park in the countries.
Yeah.
We did spend a lot of time walking around the countries.
Oh, I forgot about Remy. Man.
Yeah,
That's
those
so
are the two
cool.
favorites. We
Yeah.
tried to do those as much as we could
Yeah.
when the lines were shorter.
Yeah.
And then we visited the countries. You're right. The Mexico ride's a nice, relaxing way.
It
Very
is.
very scenic inside that ride.
It is. It's very scenic.
And the new show. Did you like the new show they had on the water?
Yes, I did. That was very different. And of course, like Disney, they do everything in spectacular fashion. So yes, it was spectacular.
Okay. Anything else about it? I mean, how can you knock it this year? Especially, we saw two of the festivals you'd never seen before,
I know.
right?
That's right. We saw the arts festival. That was fun.
So you saw the arts with all the paintings, which was terrific, and then we saw the Flower and Garden.
Mm-hmm.
And was the Flower and Gardens one that had all the concerts, right?
Well, the art show had concerts too. They had Disney on Broadway.
Right.
So that was really, really good. And the Flower and Garden Show had bands from our past, bands that we grew up
Yep.
in, grew up with, I should say, like Chicago, or artists like Rick Springfield
Yep.
and Flock of Seagulls.
Yep.
I did
those
like
were-
Jody Messina, although I wasn't a fan of hers growing up because I really didn't know much about her music. I only knew a couple of songs, but she was good.
So any other reason Epcot's up there? Or?
No, I think that's about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's the third choice on your list?
Animal Kingdom. Well, I
Okay,
really
so
like
Magic
the
Kingdom's
animals.
number one, Epcot was number two, and Animal
Yeah.
Kingdom's number three.
Well, I love all the animals, but they do have my two favorite rides there. They have Flight of Passage. Oh my gosh, that was amazing.
3D, 4D, whatever that's
Yeah, and
called.
every time you go on it, you get a different feel of it, you
Yeah.
know? So it's really
Well,
cool.
I think and that varies from what seat you're on.
Let's see. Okay.
It gives
Yeah.
you a whole different feeling
Yeah.
of a ride.
Yeah. And of course, Everest, which I'm glad because 2 years ago when we went to Animal Kingdom, we could not ride Everest because it was being refurbished or under construction.
Yeah, they were refurbishing it. Yeah, we really liked Everest
Yeah.
a lot. And like you said, just looking at the animals, I mean, it's so different than the other parks because they're live animals, not animatronics.
Right. And I love the Lion King show and the Nemo show.
Yeah.
So two great shows there as well.
Okay. And what is your last choice? Even though you're putting it fourth, but
Yeah.
it's only because you have to put one
I
on
know.
fourth.
Studios is great. They have the new Frozen sing along. You can't miss that. It's a blast. I really loved it. I love the movie Frozen, and they have live actors, and well, you just got to see it. There's a surprise at the end.
Yeah,
and it's
Disney's big
there.
mistake is that over in Epcot they have the show called Beauty and the Beast Sing Along.
Yes.
And we saw it. And
Yeah.
all it is was you sing along with like film clips.
Yeah, I thought this was
So
going
we
to
thought
be
it was the same
same.
thing. We almost didn't go in, and this is totally different. It's
Yeah.
a sing along, but they have live characters. They have
They
some
do.
comedy. They have a surprise ending.
Yeah, so it was really, really good, and you must see that because I think everybody would enjoy that. It's really good.
And any other rides there that stood out there? Do you like the Mickey
I like
Railroad?
well, yeah, I love that, but you know, I was surprised that we got on and thankful that we got on Slinky because I thought
Yeah.
we were never going to ride Slinky. That was so much fun. It was we rode that quite a bit. And I love Toy Story, you know, that's always
the game,
fun.
the
The
little-
game, yeah.
What's it called? Mania? Toy
Yeah,
Story
Toy
Mania?
Story Mania. Yep. So it's a fun park. They're all amazing. They all have different things, and they're all great.
Okay, thank you, Nance. Okay, so I guess it's my turn now. So ranking my 4 parks in order of favorite to least favorite. And you really can't say a least favorite with any Disney parks, but we have to do that by our criteria. So my number 1 park, and it's always been number 1 in my book, is Epcot. I've always enjoyed Epcot, but this year it took a whole new life of its own with the 2 festivals we saw. It was number 1 still, but a much bigger gap. So I absolutely love Epcot. I like the way they divide the 2 parts of Epcot. You come into the front of the park, and there's a lot of exciting rides. A Living with the Land. It's always been a favorite of mine. Soarin', the Nemo, as you mentioned.
Yeah, that was great.
There's just Test Track. I mean, there's a lot of good rides. The Ellen Energy was one of my favorites I got rid of, and there's been some favorites of mine that have gone, but these were all terrific rides. And they actually have a brand new ride, which we lucked out because we got in the virtual queue, which became my favorite ride, which was the Guardians of the Galaxy. You didn't get to ride that, but that turned out to be a terrific ride. So that's just the front of the park. Then we ventured on to the back of the park, and that kicked a lot of our attention because they had the art show. So there was artwork, all Disney artwork around the whole World Showcase, which we saw numerous times.
Amazing artwork.
They had the concerts, which you had mentioned during the Flower Garden, plus the beautiful topiaries and all that stuff. So those 2 took up probably 3 out of 4 of the months we were there. And then just a typical, I enjoyed like you, I liked the Frozen, which we never got to try before this year.
Yeah, that was a great.
And then we tried about half a dozen times, and Ratatouille, Mexico. We did see a couple of the travel logs, movies on the screens, the surround sound, sense around, whatever you call them. Those were enjoyable. And just the theming of the country was a lot of fun. So Epcot by far is my number 1 park. Moving on to number 2. Now you had this last on your list. I have this second on my list, the Disney Studios. I just like the whole theming of the Star Wars land. My favorite ride in all of Studios wasn't even open this time. It closed a week after we got there. Was the Rock and Roll roller coaster?
Oh yeah, that was too bad. We couldn't ride that. Yeah.
So that was a bummer. But like you had mentioned, last year Everest was closed.
Yeah.
We rode Rock and Roll roller
We
coaster.
did.
This year Rock and Roll was closed.
Yeah.
We rode Everest more. So,
Yeah, so
at least we got a decent taste out of
we
it.
did.
But it still had plenty of rides. I love the Slinky Dog also. It's considered a family coaster. The theming, I'm trying to think of the shows. We did see Phantasmic one night,
Yeah, that
And
was
we
great.
hadn't seen that in years.
Yeah, that was a long time since we've seen that. Yeah.
So basically, all the movie theming and the theming of the different areas of the park, the Toy
Yeah.
Story area, the Star Wars area,
The Toy Story area is just so fun. You walk through and you have a big smile on your face because you feel like a kid again.
all the oversized
Yeah.
toys and everything
Yeah.
else. So that's my second. Moving on to my third was Animal Kingdom. I love Animal Kingdom probably for the same reason you do. We both had a third in our list, but we both love it. It's
Yeah, we
just you
do.
have to put it somewhere. It's nice getting the break from animatronics and rides to see live animals, and it's like a different experience. You go on the safari, you don't know what the animal is going to be doing, so it's a
Right.
different ride every time.
Oh, it is. Yeah.
Anytime you see live animals, one day you might see them sitting out there in the open, another day you can't even find them. So the Animal Kingdom was good. I do like the shows, like you said, both, and we saw the Lion King also,
Yeah,
which
we
you didn't
did see
mention,
the
but there was
Lion
Lion
King.
King, Nemo, and was there a
The
third show?
we saw a bird show.
Bird show.
Yeah, it
Okay,
was good. It was really good.
so those three shows were very good. The theming is always great at the Animal Kingdom
Mhm.
too. And then they have those mini little, they're not parades, but they send the boat
Oh,
through the
yeah.
rivers and they have the
The
characters on
cavalcades that go.
cavalcades, right? So that was a lot of fun.
We wanted to ride the Cali River ride, but we got stuck on that. So, but
Right.
that's also a fun ride
That's
of
a
ours
story in
too.
itself.
It
Yeah.
had been a long time since we rode it, so we were looking forward to riding it, but it broke down.
So my last park, in the old saying, last but not least, is a Magic Kingdom. Now that's your first, and it's my last, only because the others are so strong to me.
Mm.
There's so much more there. Whereas Magic Kingdom is still geared a lot of it to families and kids,
Mhm.
and but boy, even people like us, it's great interacting with the characters. It's very whimsical.
Yeah, I love the looks of
We
Magic Kingdom.
we caught the
I love the
show.
castle.
We caught the show in front of the castle many times.
Yeah.
That was always entertainment.
It
Your
was
little
cool because they had
frozen characters jumping around.
yes, and then they had the some fireworks that shot off.
Right.
That
And
was
we,
really
we
cool.
caught the parade a couple
Oh
times.
yeah,
That was great.
that
The
was
floats
great.
are terrific with
They are.
that.
I love the fire breathing dragon.
Well, we caught the Country Beer Jamboree
That
the
was
week
good.
before they closed down.
Yeah,
For
so we
the rest of
caught
the time we
that.
were there, they were closed.
Yeah, that was a good thing.
So it's good we got that one in. And we did something we have never done. We usually bring our lunch in, and they have little parks, which I never really thought of as a park,
Mm.
at the end of Main Street. And we would sit there whenever we go to Magic Kingdom and have a lunch. And it was nice and
It
relaxing
was.
in the middle of Magic Kingdom. So a lot of that stuff is fun. Magic Kingdom. I love Magic Kingdom, but it just has to rank somewhere, so it ranks number 4. So that's the way we rank it. If you have any questions, reach out and ask us about any park or any specific attraction. But we love all 4 parks,
We do.
but that's why we prefer one over the other.
As we get to the end of our show, Nancy, I'm sure people want to know what the answer to those 3 music trivia questions were. So, what was the first question?
What singer has had a Billboard #1 hit in each of the last 4 decades?
What singer has had a Billboard #1 hit in each of the last 4 decades? And who was that?
Mariah Carey.
Mariah Carey. Would not have guessed that. Mariah Carey. Okay, number 2.
Who was the very first American Idol winner?
Who was the very first American Idol winner? Who was that?
Kelly Clarkson.
Showing never watched, but I've heard the name. Kelly
Well,
Clarkson.
I watched it. I knew it was Kelly Clarkson.
And the third one?
Who was the first woman ever inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
Who was the first woman ever inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Who's that, Nancy?
Aretha Franklin.
Aretha Franklin. Thank you very much, Nance.
You're welcome.
Thanks for coming to J&N Travels Podcast with your host, John and Nancy.
Hi.